Stretching is not fixing your pain. It might feel good for a moment, but if stretching was the solution, you would be pain-free already. And this is really important because if you keep chasing tight muscles as the problem, you may spend years managing symptoms while your brain keeps increasing protection. And protection means tension. Protection means fatigue. Protection means reduced capability. Protection means reduced capacity. And when you think about it, that directly impacts your health, performance, your longevity. You stretch more, you foam roll more, you push harder, but the pain keeps coming back. And if you're active, that pattern slowly but surely shrinks your world around you. You move less freely, you train more cautiously, you avoid certain positions because you're afraid. And over time, your brain learns that this range is not safe, and that is how capacity declines. But here's the good news. As always, there's good news. If you change the input to the brain, the output can change much faster than you think. Pain can reduce and movement can feel much lighter, and you're going to feel more confident again, and longevity becomes sustainable instead of like this fragile thing. Welcome, I'm Heike Fallon, the founder of Expand Health and creator of the NeuroHP method, and I combine neuroscience, sports therapy, and personal performance coaching to help people like you that are not willing to be limited, optimizing their health and personal performance for longevity. And we all want to live better, feel better, and you know what? We're going to have to move better for that. For over 30 years, I've studied the brain and body and the connection, and today I want to share why stretching isn't fixing your pain. In this video, I'll cover why pain is a brain output, why tightness is often protection, and how vision, the eyes, and balance influence muscle tone, and why stress changes mobility, and what to do instead of stretching, right? So I'll guide you through some brain-based exercise and you can follow along. But before we go into it, make sure you grab my free PDF down in the description below. You can download it and work through that. So let's get started with something bold. Muscle do not decide to hurt. Your brain does. And here's what I mean. Pain is not a tissue event. It's not tissue damage. It's an output of the nervous system. So your brain constantly asks, is it safe? If the answer is uncertain, it increases protection. Protection often shows up as tightness. A lot of people don't realize that what feels like tight hamstring is actually a protection signal. It's not a length problem as far as the short and tight hamstring. So this is where people get it wrong. They assume short muscles, so they stretch and think we can make muscles longer, but we can't. There's a temporary relief because stretching changes the sensation. It alters sensory input. It stimulates mechanoreceptors, and that gives the brain new data. And for a moment, the brain may say that's okay. That feels safer, and tone decreases maybe temporarily, but we're going to assess that in a minute. But if the brain still perceives uncertainty, it brings the tension back. That's because tension is protection, and this is really important. If you only stretch tissue but never improve sensory clarity, the brain has no reason to change its prediction. And that's really what it needs. It needs to change its prediction. And pain is often a prediction challenge. So here's where it gets super interesting. Your brain predicts pain before movement actually happens. It uses your vision, so your vestibular system, your inner ear, your joint feedback, past experiences, your current stress level, emotional situation, and when that all put together, and that creates a map for the brain of how to deal with the situation. And when that map is blurry, it increases the guarding, and that guarding feels like tightness. So let me give you an example. A client came in to me with chronic calf tightness. Years of stretching, daily foam rolling, massaging, and still tight. And when we assessed the visual system, one eye wasn't tracking smoothly. So it has nothing to do with you if you're wearing glasses or not. It's a matter of, are the eyes tracking correctly? So her brain was working harder to orient in space because of that one eye not tracking very well. When your brain is uncertain about where you are, it stabilizes distally. That means away from the mid-center. So your calves and hamstrings might get tighter, so it increases in muscle tone. So what we did is we trained eye movement. We did saccades. We'll do them in a minute. Within minutes, her calf tone reduced. No stretching, and that's what changed everything, because now we're not chasing pain locally. We're improving input globally. This is something I teach my clients, because chasing pain focus on output, right? Chasing input changes actually the output. So we're gonna give this a try. So do a calf stretch right now, or not a calf stretch, but just kind of assess your calf, like how far can you go until you kind of feel a little tightness there. Check the left, check the right. Awesome. Good, just a light, not an overstretching. Just kind of see where you at in the range of motion where you start feeling a light stretch. So now we're gonna do a eye saccade. We can use 2 fingers and just put them horizontal eye level and not too far apart. So what we're gonna do is just kind of look from finger to finger, side to side. You're not gonna move your head, so don't turn your head. Head stays still, and you're just switching eyes back and forth, left, right, between the fingers. Few more. Good. Now let's see and reassess your calf and see, ooh, I can go way further. Way further. Excellent. Now you can also assess hamstring mobility, right? You can reach down and do that as an assessment, and then do the eye switches again and reassess that. You may do that as well. But this is the key. Your eye movement may actually impact your hamstring and calf tightness. If you have no change in the muscle tightness in your calf, then you may need different input. If you got actually more tight, that might be a sign that your visual system is weak and needs more training. So you might want to do the saccades seated or lying down, and then see if that works for you. Do them slower, so they might need to be modified, because it actually created a threat response by the brain doing the saccade training. So no brain is the same. That's why we need to assess. Now let's talk about stress. If you're active and your nervous system is often in output mode, sympathetic tone is more dominant, and your brain will always prioritize performance over recovery. And in that state, muscle tone increases, mobility decreases, pain sensitivity goes up, and stretching is an additional. And stretching in a stressed system is like trying to relax while you're clenching a fist and while you're holding tension everywhere else. So you want to make sure that you regulate the nervous system before forcing any range. So let's do another brain-based exercise. So stand tall. We're gonna assess the neck tightness. So just rotate your head and side to side. Good. So now we're gonna inhale through the nose and a long exhale through the mouth. So now really slowly turn your head and exhale. Inhale the other side. Keep your eyes relaxed. One more time. Just really relaxed. Good. Let's assess that again. Rotate your head, see if that made a big difference. So for me, that one, not so much, was about the same. Again, that one may not be the input that I currently need because it didn't make it really much better. If you got more range of motion out of that, then that was a good input for you. If it decreased, that gives you a sign that maybe your breathing needs to be improving. Maybe you do need to train your peripheral vision or more practicing on relaxing your eyes. Or you might do this currently also first seated to be in a safer state for your brain. Now let's talk about the vestibular system. Your inner ear detects movement and position. If that system is understimulated or overwhelmed, the brain increases stiffness, especially in the neck, in the hips, and a lot of people don't realize chronic hip tightness can be linked to balance uncertainty. If the brain doesn't trust your stability, it locks down everything. And here's another great exercise that I like to do. I would assess the hamstring right now. Or again calf, but let's do a hamstring stress assessment. Why not? You reach down, see how far you get, or you can do a single hamstring assessment. Then what we're going to do is stand nice and tall, and going to have a focal point ahead. I'm going to use my camera here, and we're going to just shake the head. We're gonna go up and down. And we're gonna reassess and see if it goes further. So for me, that definitely did a good job. I was able to put my hands flat on the ground now. So for me, that was fantastic input. And what we really did is we integrated the vestibular system and the visual system, and that was input that can really help your hip and hamstring tightness and overall tightness. And it's super important to understand that these systems play a much larger role when it comes down to pain and tightness. Often this improves not because you're lengthening the tissue, but because your brain reduces protection, because the input from the vestibular and visual system was just what the brain needed. And here's really the key. Pain is influenced by perception, and past injuries, emotional state, lack of sleep, all change the pain thresholds. So when you think about longevity, we're not trying to eliminate all sensation, we're building capacity, resilience, confidence, and stretching is not wrong, but it is incomplete. It does not address the whole system. And in my NeuroHP method, I integrate the brain, the body, the environment, the self-leadership, because none of those domains stand alone. The brain integrates all signals and determines an output. And everything matters. Everything matters. Your environment definitely matters as well. And improve the input, the performance becomes much more sustainable. And let me give you another scenario. I had a client, retired executive, very active, low back tightness. Every morning he stretched really consistently, got temporarily for a little bit, but the pain kept returning, at least by the afternoon, when not lunchtime already. And when we assessed the thoracic rotation with breathing, his exhale was restricted. So high stress history, low parasympathetic tone, and what we did is train diaphragmatic breathing with rotation. And it took only a few weeks, and he didn't have any morning stiffness anymore. It reduced significantly because we changed the autonomic input. And this is really important because longevity is nervous system health. Let's do a forward bend again as an assessment. See how far you can get. Doesn't matter if you only get to the knees. Want to bend down. Very good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cross the arms in front, just comfortably in front of the chest. Going to slowly rotate through the upper back. Small range, no pain. And come back. So now what we're going to do is we're going to inhale as we rotate and exhale as we come back. Again, tall spine, knees are a little soft. Rotate just the upper body, hips still face forward, and come back. Let's do the other side. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, slowly come back. Again, inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Rotate. Exhale. Come back. Let's do a reassessment. All the way down to my hands. Definitely good input to my system. Your brain needs clear joint input, accurate signals, safe experience, and this is how neuroplasticity works. Repeated safe exposure updates your prediction. This is where self-leadership comes in. If you're active, if you're driven, the instinct is to push, stretch harder, train longer, override all these signals. But when the brain senses uncertainty, it prioritizes protection over performance. So pushing harder often increases the guarding. And instead, train clarity, train regulation, train orientation. That is brain-based movement. It is precise, intentional, it respects your nervous system, and it builds long-term capacity that supports health, performance, and longevity. Because you're not just chasing symptom relief, and that is empowering. So if stretching hasn't fixed your pain, ask better question. Where is the brain uncertain? Is it the vision? Is it your vestibular system, aka balance? Is it the breathing? Is it the stress load? Maybe the environment. This is something I teach in my NeuroHP longevity course. We don't guess, we assess because nobody's alike. We train input, we build resilience so movement can feel safe again. And safe movement is powerful movement. So don't forget to share this video with anyone that you think will benefit from the content. I constantly upload new science-based content and follow along exercises, so make sure you subscribe my channel so you don't miss out. I'm Heike Fallon, and I'll see you in the next episode.